All right, what's going on? Speak True Sports. This is your boy Jonesy, back after a few months layoff. There's really no excuse. I actually had, I think, 2 videos filmed and just never got them uploaded. But back here now, ready to talk some UFC, ready to talk some combat sports. So right off the bat, I just want to start off with talking about the event that just wrapped up this past weekend. UFC, I believe it was 262. It just wrapped up, and that card was another one of those instances where you have the highest of highs and you have the lowest of lows in certain other fights too. I really wanted to make a video about 261 with Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal, and with Rose Namajunas and Zhang Weili, all that stuff. That was an amazing card, and Chris Weidman's leg break and everything like that. I really want to talk about that, but I just, again, life gets the best of you and you don't get around to it. But we're back here now talking about this one. I want to start off with the elephant in the room. Charles Oliveira becoming the undisputed UFC lightweight champion. The first undisputed champion we've had since Khabib retired last year. We needed somebody that, not really to fill the shoes, because I don't know if there's really anybody that's going to be able to fill Khabib's shoes. But, we needed somebody to be in that place, somebody that could, embody a fraction of what Khabib brought to that division. He ruled over that division with an iron fist for the past few years. He was untouchable. He was I wouldn't say he's the boogeyman of the division. That was Tony. But Khabib he was unbeatable. He looked untouchable. He lost 2 rounds. I think it was 2 rounds in his whole career, which is unheard of, especially in MMA. That's nuts. There's so many ways to lose. There's so many ways to lose rounds in MMA, and to have only lost, I think it was, I think 2 rounds. I think 1 to Conor McGregor and 1 to Justin Gaethje, if I'm not mistaken. To do that, it's crazy. And we needed somebody that was gonna, fill that spot. And I've got to be honest, with this current landscape of fighters in the lightweight division now, I think besides Dustin Poirier, I really couldn't envision a better successor to Khabib's throne than Charles Oliveira. This guy is such a well-rounded fighter, amazing jiu-jitsu. He has developed crisp striking. He's fixed the issues, with his will to go on, his willingness to push through tough spots. I remember back early in his career, he had a very hard time, with heart and determination, but he's completely, for whatever it is, completely bridged those gaps. We saw Michael Chandler put him in trouble, especially in that first round. They were both in trouble in that first round. When Oliveira got the back, I thought that was wraps. It was credit to Michael Chandler for getting out of there like that. But the Chandler came back and rocked him afterwards. That was crazy stuff. And rocked him bad. Had him hurt, had him on the ground on his knees, just trying to dodge and weave with his head like that. And he overcame all of it. Not once did he ever look for a way out of the fight. Not once did he ever, it was looking to the ref. Not once did he just, turtle up and cover like we've seen him do in the past when he's hurt, when he's facing adversity. So that was really awesome to see. Credit to Michael Chandler. I gotta be honest, I wasn't huge on him getting this title shot at this stage of his career. I know that he's an extremely talented fighter and he was a former Bellator lightweight champion, but beating, it's amazing that he beat Dan Hooker the way he did. One punch put him out. One punch put him down, and then the follow-up punches sealed the deal. When no one, like Dustin Poirier and Paul Felder, each went 5 rounds with him and couldn't even drop him. So that was really impressive that Chandler was able to do that to him, especially that quickly. But one fight, winning one fight against a number 5 ranked Dan Hooker, who was coming off of a loss at the time, I didn't think that warranted Chandler a title shot at all. But Michael Chandler showed, man, even in this fight, even in a losing effort, you know, he's world class and he is UFC caliber. You know, to have Charles Oliveira that hurt and that bad of a predicament to escape the back, no, that's he belongs here. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And Oliveira, man, the striking, the composure. Like, when his striking's never looked this good before. That left hook he caught him, this crisp, you know, just the defense was still high on the right side. It's, I don't know. Like, I was very, very impressed with his performance. You know, his composure, his willingness to push through adversity, and just the development of his striking game. You know, he's not just a jiu-jitsu guy anymore, you know, like, you got to worry about everything with him. He's going to be a very, very good champion, and I'm very excited to see where this division goes now. When you have people like Justin Gaethje, who still is up in the air, you have the trilogy between Poirier and McGregor in July. That's, you know, still yet to happen. I'm really excited for stuff like that. I think it's going to be a really, really fun time in this division. You get Islam Makhachev, who no one wants to fight because he's literally Khabib 2.0. I really want to see him tested against a high-level opponent in the near future. Yeah, then we go to the heartbreaker of the night, at least for me. Tony Ferguson dropping yet another dominant decision loss. I don't know, man. It's really hard to watch. Tony Ferguson is one of my favorite fighters of all time, like a top 3 favorite of all time to watch in the ring. You know, Tony in his prime was just the boogeyman, man. You know, like, you step in there with him, and it was like fighting the Terminator. No matter what you did, he was still coming forward. He was slicing you up with elbows. He was constantly putting punches in your face, kicks into your stomach, you know, rolling for legs, you know. And if you took him down, you're all of a sudden in a submission threat, you know, or on the bottom, he was cutting you up with elbows from the guard. And he never got tired. You know, never looked fazed by anything he got hit with. I miss that Tony, man. That Tony's not here anymore. He's just not. That's not the guy that we've been seeing in these last 2 fights. I mean, because the Justin Gaethje fight, he was still the Terminator and the boogeyman. He just got beat up so bad that, you know, Herb Dean had to step in to save him from himself because he was too tough for his own good. But especially these last 2 fights, the Oliveira fight and the Dariush fight, dude, he just looked like a shell of himself. Looks like he doesn't have that extra fire behind him anymore. Looks like he doesn't have that pop behind his stuff anymore. Looks like he doesn't have that willingness to exchange, that willingness to get crazy. You know, somehow his takedown defense has just deteriorated. Like, overnight, all of a sudden he can't defend a single takedown. And it's just crazy. That's just not the guy that we knew for years. The guy that went on the most impressive win streak in lightweight history, 12-fight win streak. It's just not the same guy, man. I don't know, time catches up to all of us. You know, I know damage is probably also a factor, and he's taken so much damage in his career. It's just a shame that we never got to see him fight for that undisputed belt. It's a shame that we never got to see him fight Khabib in his prime. You know, obviously this version of him gets absolutely destroyed by Khabib. There's no doubt in my mind. But, you know, I still would have wanted to see a Khabib versus prime Tony. But I don't know, man. This wasn't meant to be. He's past his prime. Beneil Dariush, he did what he had to do to get the win. You know, he used his used wrestling, pressure. You know, got that deep heel hook on Tony that I still don't know how Tony didn't tap. Sad to see, man. You know, love Tony, man. All love for the boogeyman El Kukui, but his days are numbered. I think if he doesn't retire now, I feel like he should have 1 or 2 more fun fights with other guys that are kind of past their prime and really mean nothing towards the division. Like, I'd love to see him go to 170 and fight Nate Diaz. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe because Cowboy wants one more fight. Maybe we'll rematch with Cowboy again. I don't know how that fight goes now because Tony did so good in the first one, but this version of Tony, I don't know, man. I don't know. So, I don't know, maybe if Nick Diaz comes back, have Tony go up to 170, fight Nick Diaz, you know, some sort of a striker that is also past their prime that's gonna have a fun fight with him. I just want to see something like that, you know. For Beneil Dariush, I want to see him fight Michael Chandler now that Michael Chandler has lost to Charles Oliveira, and Dariush is probably going to pop into the top 5. I want to see Chandler versus Dariush. I think this is a good fight. Yeah, man. It's a bummer. A few other pretty good fights on there. Caitlin Chukagian got a win. I just don't know where she stands in her division because she already got beaten so bad by Valentina. That division is it's very unclear where they need to go with that division because we have a champion that dominant that's just beating everybody. It's like, and these people that she's already dominated are winning fights again. It's like, do you really make Shevchenko versus Chukagian 2? It's like, I don't know. Edson Barboza knocking out Shane Burgos in a banger of a fight with that delayed KO reaction. That was scary, man. And he hit him with the jab and then that right hook, and Burgos looks like he was about to eat it. And all of a sudden, his legs just start to go, his eyes start to go, he starts backing up to the cage and just falls unconscious. That was really scary to me in the moment. I thought something could have been really, really wrong with him. But I'm glad that he's okay. Edson looks great at featherweight still. And I'm really excited to see what he does next. I'd like to see him versus like Calvin Kattar or something like that. Since Calvin just got absolutely obliterated by Max Holloway, I'd love to see Edson Barboza versus Calvin Kattar. I think that would be a banger of a fight. Jacare getting his arm broken. That's another guy that needs to retire, man. He hasn't won a meaningful fight in a long time. It's been a few years. The last meaningful win he had that I can remember was when he knocked out Chris Weidman in like 2019, 2018. Either way, like that's the last meaningful win I can remember him getting. I don't know, man. Father Time catches up to all these fighters, especially these guys that put their body and their mind through so much stress on a daily basis for their job. Much respect to the legends like Jacare and Tony Ferguson, but I don't know. I think Tony's days are numbered, and I think Jacare's days are just up. I think he's done. I'm sorry. But overall, it was a really, really exciting card. The Burgos and Barboza fight was incredible. The Chandler and Oliveira fight was incredible. Both of the finishes were incredible. We also had, more somber moments like Tony getting dominated, Jacare getting his arm broken. It's like, what are you going to do, man? That's the fight game. But overall, very, very exciting stuff for the future. I'm so looking forward to the future of the lightweight division, especially, with Charles Oliveira as the champion now. It sets up so many exciting fights. I really, really want to see Oliveira versus Poirier. Especially, if Dustin Poirier beats McGregor again in the summer. That's such a great fight. I'd love to see that fight. And just previewing the next event, because the next event's going to be a banger. I was going to talk about the big 3 fights on the next event. Diaz versus Edwards. That was supposed to happen this past weekend, but Diaz had the back injury, so they rescheduled it. But, only a month later, so no really harm done there. I mean, it kind of weakened this past weekend's card a little bit, but it didn't really need that fight. It was good by itself. Now we got that fight again, man. It's going to be interesting to see what Nate Diaz can do. I don't know. I feel like Leon's probably going to win. I mean, I think he's a bit of the crisper all-around striker. He's a big guy. Nate's taken so much damage in his career. If Nate could pull this off, it's going to be incredible, but I don't see it happening. But it's going to be a banger of a fight either way, because Diaz is going to be in his face all night. He's not going to be going away, and he does have the grappling to rely on, the jiu-jitsu. Edwards has good wrestling, though. He has good defense on the ground as well. He's fought guys like Gunnar Nelson and stuff like that who have great ground games. RDA, the guy who has a great ground game, and Edwards is able to neutralize both their ground games. The co-main event, Figueiredo versus Moreno 2. I think that might be okay, no, maybe I'm more excited for Adesanya versus Vettori too, but Figueiredo versus Moreno too is really, really close. Like, I think it might be a tie for like the fight I'm like most excited about on that card. It might edge out Adesanya, honestly, because that first fight was so amazing, and I can't wait to see both those guys do that on full camp. Last time it was on a month's notice, you know, on a full camp. I think we're gonna see a brutal finish. From whoever it is, I'm leaning Figueiredo, but I don't know. Moreno could pull it off, man. That guy's an iron chin. They both have great gas tanks. They both have power for days. Figueiredo's an iron chin too, so I can't wait to see how that plays out, especially with full camps for both guys. And obviously the main event, the rematch between Adesanya and Vettori, I would have liked it to be Adesanya and Whitaker too, but I understand that Whitaker wasn't ready to come back yet. So yeah, it's a cool opportunity. You know, Vittori's been on a little bit of a streak, and their first fight was relatively close. So I can't wait to see that as well. I want to see how Adesanya bounces back after taking his first MMA loss against when he went up to light heavyweight against Jan Blachowicz. I'm interested to see how he bounces back after that. And Vettori, you know, his confidence is probably at an all-time high right now because he's beaten Hermanson, Holland. I can't remember who he beat before Hermanson, but I know he's put together a good little streak, and he's probably very, very confident right now. So that's going to be very interesting to see both where their mindsets are at and how that translates physically in the cage. Yeah, very exciting stuff in the world of combat sports and UFC right now. I'll be back soon to talk about any other breaking news or big developments or amazing events that come up. And I can't wait for the future of the very near future of combat sports and MMA in the next few months. It's going to be awesome stuff. All right, STS, talk to you later.